So shout out to John Riggs, Easy Gamers, Destiny FOMO, a number of subscribers. There are so many that I feel bad because I don't remember everyone who gave me advice. But shout out to all of you guys for all the advice that you gave me when it came to repairing this Game Boy Color cartridge. I had never done soldering before, and I decided, you know what, this is a decent looking game. I didn't want to lose out on it just because of an issue that was probably fairly simple to fix. And so I went out and bought a soldering iron and decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and fix this game myself. I had called around to a couple of places around the city, and a couple of folks told me that they didn't do these types of repairs. And so they didn't even want to like entertain the idea of possibly trying to fix this game for me. And so, I just decided to take matters into my own hands. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's a few feelings I have. One, this is a very empowering feeling as a retro game collector, because as I mentioned in videos before, video games breaking down on you is just a part of collecting older hardware. And the more equipped you are to deal with some of these issues, the easier it is going to be for you to collect stuff, because now you can collect games that, may be broken, and maybe you can kind of take some of these games and try to fix them. So this may have opened up a Pandora's box for me, honestly. Maybe I'll want to try my hand at fixing other things. I find games that are broken all the time and just pass on them because I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with the headache of having to fix this. But it literally took me about 2 minutes to fix this game. It kept crashing. I wasn't able to get to this part of the game. It just, it wasn't working. And like I said, literally within a matter of 2 minutes, I was able to lightly touch the connector pins on the main chip. It kind of loosened up that solder a little bit and allowed the game to, allowed the chip to reflow. Now, I don't know what's going to happen after these pins cool off. They could cool off and I go right back to square one where the game is just crashing on me. And it would suck. I would hope that I wouldn't have to reheat those connector pins every time I want to play the game. Also, as I've gone through and like played it here and there a little bit, I have seen signs of still a little bit of glitchiness with the game. So I don't think I'm completely out of the woods yet with it. Can I go through this door? Let me see. Oh yeah, I can go through this door. Okay, cool. I haven't seen it come all the way out of the woods in terms of the glitchiness of the game. But I haven't really put it through its paces and really, played it completely. So I'll have to kind of tinker with the game a little bit more. Try to see, how far I can get with it, how bad the damage really was. But again, like I've shown you guys what the motherboard looks like, and the game itself looked like it was brand new. I don't know what would have caused the chip to just malfunction like that, but that's just the nature of some of these devices. They could look perfectly healthy, but then out of nowhere, these games will just, randomly break down on you, and then you kind of have to play doctor and do your own diagnosis to see what the heck is going on. So overall, I'm just super pleased. Just proud of myself, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got to give myself a pat on the back. I could have tried to take this to a Mr. Fix-It place, and who knows how much they would have tried to charge me. They would have charged me double the cost of the soldering iron itself, but 25 bucks on a pretty cheap soldering iron got the job done. And now I have a soldering iron that I can use on other games, and it's going to make retro game collecting for me for this year just a whole lot easier, man. So again, shout out to everybody who joined my live stream on Saturday when I first picked this game up. And just kind of had, just some words of wisdom and some words of encouragement for me. If you're wondering what game I'm talking about, it's this one right here. Whoa, dropped my Game Boy SP. But it's this game right here, Resident Evil Gaiden. Found this at a GameStop, and it was like 80 bucks. And I was like, man, this is like a $200 game. I felt like this is a pretty decent deal for this type of game, and I've never found this in the wild. And so I picked this up. Saturday was, a really cool day because I had to return a bunch of games that just weren't working. that I had ordered online. And in place of those games, I got Double Dragon, not Double Dragon, sorry, Dragon Ball Z Adventure and Resident Evil Gaiden. These are really two heavy hitting handheld games, man. And you know, the Double Dragon was 20 bucks. Resident Evil Gaiden was 80. So for 100 bucks, two really top tier handheld games in my opinion. If I were to try to get these games on the aftermarket, to get both, it'd probably be close to 300 bucks. So all in all, I mean, I'm glad I was able to save the game. And now it's a game that I can explore. Somebody on the channel had commented and said that the Resident Evil Gaiden was trying to save me from a horrible game, that the game is horrible. I guess I'll play it and see. You know, I did watch some gameplay footage. I do have a couple of Resident Evil games in my collection. I'm not a super Resident Evil, head like that. But it's really cool, man. And I'm just stoked that it worked. You know, a lot of times you try to fix things and it still doesn't work. I'm just pleased that not only that the fix worked, but also that it worked really fast. I thought it was going to take me hours. I thought it was going to take like half my day to get it fixed. Literally took me 5 minutes. So if you are thinking about collecting retro and you're worried about things breaking down on you, if you have, a half of a Mr. Fix-It bone in your body, it doesn't really take much to repair a lot of these games, and it also kind of showed me that like a lot of times what these like retro repair places charge for repairs, man, it's not even worth it. You can probably just look it up on YouTube and fix it yourself. So shout out to the Gamers Addict. That channel is really small. They only have like 1,000 subs, but super useful information over there. So go check out that YouTube page. They've got some helpful information, helped me out a lot. And yeah, it's back. Resident Evil Gaiden is back. We just got out of open cart surgery, and the open cart surgery was successful. So again, shout out to John Riggs for the help. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy.